The soup bubbled on the stove, and its aroma commingled with the barely there mildew odor from the leaky sink. I stirred it aimlessly and glanced at Fallon on the other side of the kitchen table, her phone out and her eyes fixed on the screen. Her sigh was a little dagger to my heart. At home, I resumed my position in front of the sink, wrench in hand, determined to fix something in that house that seemed to be beyond being fixed. That's when I heard her speak, sotto voce but conspiratorial though the vent. He's just not the man I thought he'd be. Pause. I'm done, Paige. Like, really done. I just haven't told him yet. I tightened my grip on the wrench until it whined against the pipe. Silence above, then the dull thud of her footsteps outside my door, tentative, departed. I didn't move. There I sat, on tile, in rusty water, heartsick on the cold floor. I'm Ira, 39, a remote tech support guy, and I do at home from our attic and around the house or try to. Fallon, she is my wife, 19, 9 years. No children. Only a cat we joke trash as though we love her more than we do. We have an Ohio gray house on a street of well-mown lawns that compete for, but never speak of, dominion. I'd felt her pulling away for months. Her laughter felt rehearsed, her irritation endless, her phone like a glowing wall we triangulated between us all through bedtimes. But I never thought she'd already checked out, bags packed in her head, and just sitting there waiting for the chance to leave me behind. I didn't speak to her that morning. What could I say? Yo, I hear you ditch me down by the vent while I'm back there fighting the pipe? No, I did not jump. I drew back, shutting up on myself like a wounded animal. A few weeks ago, I started carrying around a little green notebook. Paper, not pixels. I jotted down her asides, the nights when she did yoga late, and yet still managed to have salon hair, the times when a location on her phone would flick off and then back on. Not that I was going to get back at him. Collect evidence. Just to prove I wasn't imagining that the gulf between us was widening by the day. Her words grew sharper and sharper, slicing me in anything but subtle ways. Ira, you're too stable. No fire, no spark. Or, I thought marriage would be a trip. It's like, okay, well, this feels like a standstill. Why I wanted to yell was, we're in a slowing down pattern, because you're pushing yourself out the door while I'm still holding it open. But I didn't. I said yes. Cooked her more dinners, downloaded her meditation app, recommended morning walks she refused. She'd already divorced me emotionally. Her body was simply not cooperating. Then came Wednesday night. I was folding a sweatshirt when she sauntered into the living room and said, Ira, I think I'm done. Fair enough. Her voice was flat, as if she'd just emerged from her chores. Not from us. I don't know what she was looking for. Crying, a request, an argument. I had it all boiling up in me, but I had nothing for her. I met her gaze, nodded once. Okay. She tilted her head, puzzled. That's it. I didn't reply. My duffel was packed from days earlier when I decided to leave Los Angeles behind and go back to the bedroom. I stuffed the notebook into my duffel and walked out without a word. She didn't chase me, didn't call out. Maybe she thought I would crawl back. She was wrong. I spent the night at the Sandstone Motel, off Route 42, scratchy linens, buzzing lights, a breakfast tray no one would eat off of. I wasn't seeking comfort, only silence, relief from her sighs. She jiggled a key card and a vending voucher toward the counter, at me, and her eyes were glued to her crossword. I liked her indifference. The world was howling. She was silent, and it was balm. The motel bed was a slab of regret, hard and uncomfortable, and filled with the echo pain in my chest. Memories consumed me. The creaky floors of our first apartment, the Minnesota camping trip that left us shivering up against the cold, and the 4th of July's sparkler kiss had all but set my flannel and my fire ablaze. Each one was like a piece of glass, pretty but sharp. She got up to sludge coffee and 11 missed calls, none of them from Fallon, Levi from work, strangers. No text from her. No, where are you? Dead silence, louder than ever. I got a day off work. I told people there was a family emergency. A dead marriage does count, doesn't it? I went to our old bookstore, the shelves still covered in dust and smelling like coffee. I sat in our nook, my book unopened, and watched the couples laugh and nuzzle. I was the outsider now, peering in at a life I no longer had. That night, both are words I wrote down in my notebook, not hers alone. The seconds I did not say what I should have said. She called off our anniversary dinner after I'd spent hours cooking, and I had to be okay with that. The realization came to me slowly, like fog. At what point had I stopped being Ira, the dreamer, the fixer, the lover, and become a shadow that I hid from even myself? I parked 2 streets away from our house the next day and watched. Her car was in the driveway. Curtains closed, the porch light off despite the darkness. No distractions tonight. Just her, alone in our history. Then, at 10:47 p.m., a gray sedan drove up. A tall man in a suit punched in our keypad combination and walked right through as if he owned the joint. My hands went cold. My stomach twisted. She'd said it hatefully. She'd been over it, with someone else awaiting in the wings. But she didn't know that I'd been taking myself apart. The lease was mine. The savings frozen. That was my lawyer's favorite notebook. She thought I'd fade away. I was done being invisible. For her to allow him and wasn't flinging open her gates. It was business as usual. That stung most. I moved out of Sandstone and took a few months to rent a co-working office space that I didn't tell her about, a place that she never even knew existed. There, I presented my weapons. Bank records, screen grabs, the prenup she'd out of foolishness left behind in her realist phase. Ira the pushover was gone. She'd come up against a wall she hadn't seen coming. I texted her. We've got to talk. Public place. You pick. 6 p.m. At Louise Cafe. It's our old schoolyard neutral ground. There she was, with nails done, my anniversary necklace on, smiling like it was no thing. Thank you for letting me see you, she said. I sat, ignoring her charm. I thought you were done, I whispered back. I thought you want to discuss logistics, not just leave. Like what you were saying about the dude in the sedan? Her smile faltered. You've been spying. I was watching, I corrected, passing an envelope to the other side of the table. What's this? Your exit. No alimony. I keep the house. You get your car and the secret account. Her eyes widened. You went through You left it open. Stop hiding it. She went quiet. You were done, I said. I just made official. I was not ready, she whispered. But you were for him. She flinched, then stood, the chair dragging. Her heels fell on the tile like shots, each step a charging call. On the iron rod of her spine, her hands. Oh, those faithless hands, they shook because they had the terror within. As I saw her vanish into that parking lot, my mind focused, awoke, made the decision to be sure of anything I'd really thought about. Fallon gathered conveniences and threw them away when they faded. A couch, a vase me. She never knew what hit her, and I left her with my head up. Her brother called next day. She's spiraling, he said. Crying at Mom's, you blindside her. I finished what she started. I told him, your mother didn't believe you had it in you. That rattled me. I thought she'd have floated off with her new man. Instead, I'd shaken her. So Fallon called and left a voicemail. Since when did you change? Who are you now? I didn't answer. I took an apartment in a building with a hardware store on the ground floor, where I did chores for the landlord, Milt. So I wrote in my journal, about me, not her, found the man I'd buried. She started parking outside my apartment, sitting in her car, watching, not stalking, just orbiting, wondering why I hadn't crumbled. And then later, a package, a picture from Lake Crescent of us giggling in the rain, and her note on the reverse. This was real once. I'm sorry I let it rot. I folded it and slipped it into my pocket, refusing to let her have the last say. A few weeks later, an email at work. Chandler, the man is my therapist, not an affair. After Dad died, I was too ashamed to let you see me unravel. I'm sorry. If it was true, it would explain a few things, but not her closing me out, not her I'm done. But she betrayed me all the same, not with her body, but with her spirit. I replied, I wasn't afraid of your pain, just locked out of the door. I'm glad you got help. I wish I'd known you were longing for it. She didn't respond. Silence again, and forever this time. One night, Paige, a call friend, appeared with an envelope. This came from Fallon writing after you were gone. She never sent it. You deserve it. I said yes, thanks, and waited for her to go. Inside, 6 raw pages. Ira, if you're reading this, Paige's done did me wrong. Paigey Poo. Good. She confessed she'd let herself be consumed by the fog, testing me, wanting me to fight for her, because she couldn't fight for herself. You were steadier, kinder. I never realized how tough you were until it was too late. By the lake, I held the letter until it ignited and then watched it twist into ash. Not in rage, but in progress. I didn't survive to get her. I got her to live. I was rebuilding quietly, drawing again, rekindling relationships with friends, making plans to migrate to new cities. Fallon was scary, my colleague Levi told me over beers. You just listened. He was right. I had discreetly bowed out for her. Not anymore. One night, I saw a prospecting couple fighting. Say something, she begged. He didn't. I'd been him once. This time I was walking away, not from a broken past, but from an unbroken future. The tears didn't well up. There was no regret. Nothing. I strode on, free.